Today, I'm going to share the exact story of how I quit my stable 9 to 5 job to pursue my side hustle. It was the hardest decision I ever made, and it was the best decision I ever made. So if you are looking to quit your 9 to 5 in 2025, this video might be the one that changes everything for you. This video will be in 5 sections. Section 1 will be my background story, where I'll share details about myself just so you have some context. And then section 2 will be about the final straw that broke the camel's back and inspired me to make that decision. Yes, the big decision to quit my 9 to 5. Section 3 will be about the fears I experienced as a result of this decision. Yes, your fears are valid, and I'll also be sharing some tips on how I overcame these fears, just in case you're experiencing something similar. Section 4 will be about the new mindset I had to adopt in order to pull through with this decision. Quitting your 9 to 5 is not a small decision, and there are new mindsets you may have to adopt in order to see it through. And the final section would be how I safely and successfully quit my 9 to 5. I know it's common to see stories of people that have quit their 9 to 5 job with no backup plan. But I believe it's a very tiny population of people that succeed doing that. And that is why you need to have a backup plan. I will be sharing this in part 5, so you want to stick around for that. That being said, let's get right into the story. To understand why I made this decision, I'm going to be sharing with you a bit about my journey. So I'm a pharmacist. I trained in pharmacy school for 5 years, and when I graduated from pharmacy school, I didn't get an internship immediately. I was so devastated. All my colleagues, all my friends had gotten some kind of placement in a hospital, and I didn't have anything. For about 7 months, I was waiting. I kept sending several applications, but nothing was coming forth. So it made me really frustrated, and that frustration drove me to explore new things, which I am very glad I did. I'm grateful for that opportunity because that was my first encounter with digital space, which I happen to be in today. I started learning more about this space, and I applied to be an assistant to a graphic designer at that time. I worked for about 2 months. I just got stipends, nothing really special, but it opened my eyes to the possibility of things outside pharmacy school. Fast forward to my service year, which is like a period where Nigerians serve their country, just in case you are non-Nigerian, but it's a period where Nigerians serve their country. I was posted to a hospital as a copper pharmacist, and if you know anything about hospital practice, it can get really boring. I don't know about other people out there, but it was really boring for me. Like every day looked the same, and I wanted something new. I wanted to be free. I wanted an opportunity to express my creativity. I wanted to make more money. I was in my 20s. I felt like there was so much I could do, and I wasn't doing that. So I decided to do something about it. At that time, I couldn't see a clear path to freedom. It all seemed regular. But then it was paying the bills, so I stayed. And you can relate to this. You are going to your job, you are no longer finding it challenging. In fact, it might be draining life out of you. You are tired. You want your freedom. You want an opportunity to express yourself and your creativity. You feel like you should be doing more because you're in your 20s, but then you're not doing anything about it because it's paying your bills and it seems like the comfortable option. Well, I can relate to this a lot because this was me until this happened. Now, this was the moment that broke the camel's back. To be fair, I was comfortable with my situation until this particular thing happened, and I am so glad that it happened because it pushed me out of that comfort zone. That was when I knew I had to move and move very fast. And what happened was that a colleague resigned from work, and we were forced to take on their responsibilities with no extra pay. What? Oh no, I wasn't having any of it. I felt like God orchestrated that to happen because I knew I wasn't going to be burdened by any of these. I just knew I was not going to work there. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to go about it, but I just knew I was going to leave. and I had only 6 months to plan. If you've been flirting with the idea of whether to quit your job or not to quit, maybe all you need is just a trigger, the final trigger that will propel you out of your comfort zone. Because that's actually what happened. I was comfortable. And maybe if that lady hadn't resigned from her job, I would have been there by now. But because that happened, I was under so much pressure. I wasn't ready to start doing extra work for no pay. So I had to figure things out. If you're enjoying this video, please do well to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. It pushes this channel and it keeps me inspired to keep making videos like this for you. Thank you. And when this happened, I had a lot of thoughts, and I'm going to dive right into the fears, some of the fears I experienced as a result of this decision and how I overcame them. I was scared. I wouldn't lie, I was scared. I had the fear of running out of money. Like, I was living in an expensive city, Abuja. How was I going to feed myself? How was I going to pay for my rent? How was I supposed to pay for transportation and just take care of myself as a lady? At that point, I was not depending on my parents for anything, so I had to figure things out. I also had the fear of the unknown. What if this doesn't work? What if the side hustle doesn't work? What if it flops? What if I fail? Will people laugh at me? Would I be so mad at myself because I failed? Like, there were so many questions in my head. I was scared of disappointing my parents. My parents had sent me to school for 5 years, 5 solid years, and they had taken care of me throughout that period just for me to come out and say, oh, I'm not practicing pharmacy again. Honestly, if you stay in a Nigerian home, you know how ridiculous that sounds. I bet you have other fears on your mind, and I'm here to tell you that all your fears are valid. I'm going to be sharing with you shortly some of the questions I had to ask myself and how I overcame these fears, and you can do same for yourself. See, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking the steps despite the fear. Everyone experiences the fear. I did. I wouldn't come here and lie and say I did not experience anything. I was scared to my bones, but that wasn't going to stop me. I needed to leave ASAP, like yesterday. I had to ask myself, what is the worst that could happen? Like, if I try this out and it doesn't work, if I give this 1 year of my life and it doesn't work, what is the worst that could happen? I will go back to pharmacy now. I will go and look for another job in a hospital or in a community pharmacy. I will just carry my L and go back. But I wasn't going to sit back there and not try anything new. Secondly, I was super worried about my finances, but I decided to start saving. Yes, there's no rocket science about it. I had to save. I had to plan and budget. Like, how much do I spend in a month? Can I save that particular amount of money for a period of 6 months? Another way I faced my fears around money was by learning a skill. If the skill I had wasn't going to fetch me money, then I had to learn something else. I had to learn how to build websites. At that time, I didn't know anything about coding or how to create a website, and I was pretty frustrated because it was annoying, but I had to learn it. So if you're learning something and you're getting really frustrated, don't worry. Give it like 3 months. Trust me, you become really good at it. So this is a tip for you if you're experiencing fear, if you're not sure, oh God, will this work out? Would I be broke? Would I fail? If you're experiencing all this, just get a pen and a paper, because we are going to do risk analysis here. You're going to write out the pros of taking that decision and the cons of making that decision. You have to write it out because you will only be 20 something for 10 years. After 10 years, that's it. And the best time to take risks is in your 20s. This particular mindset shift changed everything for me, and it can change everything for you as well. I started prioritizing my time over money. Just let that sink in. Prioritizing your time over your money. Your time is more valuable than that money. I had to tell myself that no amount of money was going to keep me at a job I didn't enjoy. Like, you can't hold me down. I'm sorry. And I wasn't going to take on 2, 3, 5 jobs to make money. Like, why? I wasn't going to do that. I was willing to let go of those little monies here and there so that my hands would be open and available to grab the big millions. Yes, this was the mindset I had to adopt. I knew that I wasn't going to continue trading my time for money when I could be investing that time into learning a skill that can pay me 10 times that? Yes, and there are skills out there that can pay you 10 times more than what you are earning. But you have to learn the skill, and learning that skill requires time. And that time is what you are trading at your job to get peanuts. You see how it works? Girl, at some point, 1 plus 1 needs to start adding up. You have to start doing the math. Your time is more valuable than that money. Now to the question of the day. How did I safely and successfully quit my 9 to 5 job? I'll walk you through 5 steps. Step 1, identify the time wasters and cut them out. I needed all the time I could get because remember, I was running on just 6 months. I had to focus. Unnecessary outings, I had to cut them out. Scrolling mindlessly on social media, I had to cut it out. Watching movies, I had to cut out that one too. Like, I spent my hours on Skillshare, learning new skills. Step 2, I had to get my finances in order. I don't know how people say they quit with no backup plan. Like, how can you quit with no backup plan? I'm just curious. If you know how it's done, please let me know in the comments. I had to start living on a very modest budget. Step 3, commit yourself to education. Education, education, education. Yes, you've heard it, but you really need to study. You need to learn something new. Like, you don't just need to learn, you need to build too. As you are learning, you are building. I made a video on how to learn any skill pretty fast on this channel, and I should link that in the description below. So if you want to know how to do that, go check out that video. Step 4, take that leap. Just take it. The time will never be perfect. Everything will not always fall in place. I must say that before I left my job, 1 month to quitting that job, I landed a role. Yes, I landed a freelance role, and this gave me an opportunity to know that I had something that was going to provide me with a certain amount of money for a certain period of time. So I had that kind of security. You see, that's what it's called safely and successfully quitting your 9 to 5. See, it might not work out like that for everyone, but if you are applying yourself to learning, if you are applying to all these freelance roles, even while you're still working on 9 to 5, I can guarantee that you can learn something before you actually quit your 9 to 5. Yes, something that will just keep you going. To be honest with you, the job I landed wasn't the highest paying job. Like, it was bare minimum if you ask me. But I knew I needed that job just to make that transition. I knew I was going to figure other things along the way, but I just needed something to start with. And I took it. I was so happy. I grabbed it with my chest. So maybe the first job you land will not be your dream job, but it's something. It's a step in the right direction. You will eventually get there. As long as you are moving towards your desired path, then you will get there. If you are looking to start your freelance journey as a beginner, I created a video still on this channel on how to start freelancing in 2025. It's a simple guide and tutorial for beginners. I should link the video in my description so you can go watch that too after you've watched this video, of course. And the interesting thing is that 3 years down the line, you would wish you had made that step or made that decision. So why don't you just make that decision now? If this video inspired you, please hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm push this video, and it supports this channel in a way that keeps me inspired to keep making videos like this. So please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.